In my last couple of videos, I traveled from Fumban all the way to the capital of Yaoundé. On the way, I survived not being hit by a bus, not being struck by a car after falling over into the road, and succeeded to ride away unscathed after hitting a pedestrian and crashing my bike. You can see all of that craziness in the link above. I just didn't drive to the capital for just any reason. I drove to Yaoundé to attend, ironically, a motorcycle training course. No, seriously.
Yeah.
I've done many trainings in MSF or Motorcycle Safety Foundation course in America, Yamaha Champ U's online course, and even both on-road and off-road training at the BMW US Rider Academy. Today, I'm doing something a bit different. Let's call it an MSF-inspired African motorcycle training course that was created by some expats. This training is unique in that it includes both a course on motorcycle repair and maintenance in the mornings, which I'll be doing a separate video about, with a motorcycle riding skills course in the afternoons. Whether I can survive an African MSF course or not, well, you'll just have to watch to the end. I wasn't able to get all of day one on video, but one of the things we did do was emergency braking. We first started out with using rear brake only and then added the front brake as well. That may seem pretty simple, but in Cameroon, it is deeply embedded in motorcycle riders to primarily use the rear brake, if not only use the rear brake. Folks can even be afraid of using the front brake, so this training having riders practice using the front brake as well and showing that it's safe is invaluable, because when you use the rear and front brake together, it greatly reduces your braking distance. We were only a group of 4 students for this class. A couple of the students here are on the shakier side of riding, and one was completely new. One thing that is very different from training in the US and what we are doing here is in the US MSF course, we are taught to brake as hard as possible, but without locking the rear brake.
All that? Is that supposed to be like that?
Yeah. That's the 2 brakes.
Well, I'm using the 2 brakes, but I'm not making all that scream. Because I'm hearing this guy every time the brakes are shouting.
They are shouting like that because he's holding it tight. He's locking the back tire. He locked it, and then it will just like slip in case of an emergency.
Okay. Okay.
Here, locking the rear wheel while emergency braking with the rear brake was presented more as like, you really brake if you got a skid. Several months after this training, I had another training where again, the instructor really insisted on me skidding. Yeah. The next stage were some cone weaves. Pretty simple still at this point. When we circled back around, we were asked to go around this small circle. So far, everything was a breeze, so I decided to challenge myself by doing a tighter turn in the circle. And then stalling out and dropping the bike here was definitely embarrassing.
I got it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I was been trying to challenge myself to make tighter turns.
Okay, that's what we want.
And I have been doing it inside the circle. You've seen it several times.
So why did it stall though?
I had it in second gear. I was trying to get it done in second. I probably should have dropped in the first because my speed was really, really low. And so it stalled out because I wasn't giving enough gas.
Okay.
Once it stalled, of course, it made me fall over.
So a motorcycle has what's called a wet clutch. For slow speed operation, you are totally appropriate to try to do it in second. But again, what you might want to do is actually pull that clutch to where it's in that friction zone to where you can actually bring your RPMs up a little bit, hold them there, and then instead of using the throttle to get you around the corner, you can speed up and slow down with your clutch.
Yes, I did know about the friction zone, but just needed a little humble pie to let me know that I needed to know more about it. Though I mentioned it in my previous video to Yaoundé, at the time of me taking this course, I'd only been riding for about 1 year and 4 months, so I guess I should give myself a little slack here. Now more navigating of cones, more life on easy, but then not so fast.
About twice or thrice, you've succeeded, but the back hit the obstacle.
This one or others?
No, this one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted that each time you're turning, you have that in mind. Like,
okay.
I can succeed with the front, but my back could easily scratch something.
Yeah, I was wondering if I was hitting something.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will keep that in mind.
Okay.
I was trying to keep it so tight when entering the first cone, silly me was knocking the cone over. More of the same continued. Overall, it was more of a warm-up day, but still gave me a little reminder of not being too overconfident. Day 2, things were up a bit. Today we continue navigating cones, but this time at the end, we had to speed up to do emergency braking at the end.
That's perfect.
At a certain point, I realized that my speedometer was no longer working. This was likely due to maybe an error I made during the repair part of the class. I tried to at first see if the cable was just loose at the wheel. When that did not work, I wanted to access the back of the dashboard where the other side of the cable was, but it was more involved than I expected to try to remove this front plastic cover, so I just decided to leave it for now and continue with the training. The second exercise involved doing a figure 8. In this exercise, we have to do one figure 8 outside of the cones, then come back a second time to do a second figure 8 inside the cones. Simple enough, right? Figure 8s can be difficult for riders under ideal conditions of flat asphalt. A figure 8 on grass, on ground that was not completely flat, is another level of difficulty, actually. Looks can be deceiving. It looks like the bike control needed would be similar, but it is not. Why is that? When doing a figure 8 on asphalt, the control you have of the bike is more repeatable, since the ground is basically the same every pass you do. On green grass with semi-damp ground underneath, with all the bumps and off-camber sections, you have to, in real time, be ready to do more rapid clutch and throttle control changes. Plus, each time you go around the figure 8 will be slightly different depending on the state of the ground where your wheels happen to go. Okay, I was able to make it work after the instructor demonstrated it to me. Sort of. But seeing how tight the internal circle was, I decided to use this circle here to practice making as tight a turn as possible. One of the instructors decided to make the middle more narrow. The less experienced riders definitely had difficulties with this exercise, especially with the more narrow opening. It was quite a jump up from the exercise of the previous day. Even I got snagged by the narrow opening, missed it completely here. I could not recover from the previous bad entry, and more tight circle practice, but going between grass and pavement isn't exactly the same. This time I hit it with the associated confidence increase. And yet another bike dump. Not to be defeated, I finally find my rhythm in the last minutes of the session and get to end on a high note. So I'm feeling pretty good heading back to my apartment to chill before the next day. Day 3 is where it gets really interesting and a noticeable jump in difficulty. Here, I noticed a suspiciously figure 8 shaped course that looked impossibly small. There's no way these guys can be serious.
What? You're not even serious now.
We're not serious?
You're not even serious now. That thing, hey.
Let me go see. I'll make sure I got it to the right size.
Okay, I was looking at that like, man.
Let's see.
See what I mean? That is very difficult, eh? Too over difficult.
It's the right size.
The right side.
It's the right size.
No, hey, for you.
That's what. Hey, we are pushing you. That is what this is for. So as you come through, if you enter the circle and you give up a foot here, you're not going to be able to make the end. You have to be able to come here and practically touch this cone. Don't give up any space until you're here, then you can see if you can make it.
I'm very skeptical, but I gotta try at least, right?
I'm gonna go outside and do it. Come back here.
Try to put on a little bit of back brake. It'll stabilize your bike.
I would say this person was the most experienced in the group, and even he has to put his leg down. Though later on, I do remember seeing him actually successfully completing the internal figure eight, which is pretty impressive. Woo! Going inside, I try to keep the tire as close to the cone as possible, but third time around, my feet are basically doing the work. It's a lost cause for me, y'all. Eventually, as I saw other obstacles being set up, I just decided to do those instead. I got to go over this ramp and over this obstacle. There wasn't really any group instruction that I can remember or tips on how to deal with the obstacles, but it seemed like no one had any problems, or if they did, there were different instructors around that could help.
Okay, we're gonna make it harder on you.
No. I'm still trying to figure that one out. That scares me. That's very scary.
I'm gonna make it harder yet, though.
Okay.
I decided to go over this narrow board again, and glad it was just over a shallow ditch. Once he saw we could go over the board with a straight entry, he changed the cone so that we would have to enter the board to go over from an angle. This was one of the most useful things I learned during the training. How to bump start.
Okay. Starting without hitting the start button, it will go well when you put it on the second gear. So make sure you clutch it and then you sit on it when it's running, going down the street, and then it will start. In case something happens, you have a dead battery or something.
Okay.
You try like that and we'll see. And then you add a little bit of. So Gran is going to do it. Okay.
Oh gosh. Because I can't. Oh gosh. Nah, this isn't working out. Push me. Change it.
Okay, clutch it.
And then what do I do?
Release the clutch, and then you add a little bit of gas.
Hey, Aja, try my bike. In your bike, you're not figuring out the bounce because you have so much weight back here already. Your bike has been starting. Let's see if that same thing will work with this one.
Okay, do you think it's because this back is
You
helping?
already have so much weight back
okay.
there that's helping you.
Okay.
So
I understand.
So now I get to try bump starting on a different style of bike. Can't remember if I got it here. Remember when I was struggling earlier on the slant of the hill?
Because I can't.
This was the completely new rider, and he had very long legs, as you can see.
Oh,
Just so you
God.
have an idea of why I was struggling earlier. This time was definitely a dud. This time I got it to work for sure.
So right now, you have it nice. You have a hill. What happens if you don't have a hill? Well, then I'm gonna so hop off. So I'll show you what I want you to do. You put it in second gear, all right? And now I'm just gonna run. And then
Yeah, that's kind of a dance.
there are people that will do a big jump and then do it all at once. Almost. You got plenty of ground in front of you.
Maybe I just wasn't committing, but y'all, it was rough.
If you're too tired, you don't have to keep doing it. As long as you know the idea and then you can practice it later.
Yeah.
Now, I can at least see here that to get a jump, I would somehow need to get on the foot pegs to drop my weight down. I was not confident enough in my balance with my short legs to do that though. It tried a bit here and here, but ultimately I couldn't get it to work just pushing the bike. The last exercise was very unique as it did try to address the short legs or short reach to the ground problem. We were supposed to ride over the board that was over the shallow ditch again, but stop in the middle. After stopping, we were to shift over enough to get one leg down in the ditch while still keeping the other leg on the bike and also keeping the bike balanced in the middle of the wooden board. It was hard for me to commit with my short legs. Eventually, I just dropped the bike. Later on, I was able to commit and slide down enough to touch the ground while keeping the bike on the board upright. And that was it. Some thoughts I had. First, I really applaud the team for putting something on like this, especially here in Cameroon. Motorcycle training is just not much of a thing here, so it is something that's greatly needed. A lot of the basics and fundamentals can just be missing for your average rider. I know this program is a bit newer, and I'm sure that with time it will be developed more and more. I like that this training was put into the context of the environment it was in, here in Cameroon, like during the figure 8 on grass, since riding off pavement is very common here. Bump starting is definitely a must-know thing here. Let's just say, since I learned it, I have used it several times, though usually I've just had people push me to get the bump start to work. I'm Asha, an American expat who is learning how to ride motorcycles abroad in Africa. In an upcoming video, I'll be going over an even more unique aspect of the training, which is the motorcycle repair and maintenance section. If you like what you see and want to come with me on my journey to see more, please subscribe. Until next time, please stay safe and keep the rubber side down.